Hey there, gentlemen. Welcome back to Men Over 50 Secrets. I'm Dr. Sienna Brooks, and today we're diving into something that might just shift the way you think about maintaining your energy, your strength, and yes, your testosterone. Now, before we get into the science, let's keep things simple. We're talking about a single everyday vitamin, one that costs less than your morning coffee. But when used the right way, it can make a serious difference in how you feel, think, and even move after 50. So grab your favorite chair, relax, and stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand why more and more men are skipping the big, hard-to-swallow pills and turning instead to a small sublingual tablet, something you just let melt right under your tongue. And why it's quickly becoming the go-to method for natural testosterone support. Let me start with a story. A few weeks ago, one of my longtime patients, let's call him Mark, came in for his yearly checkup. He's 57, works in construction, has been in great shape most of his life. But this time, he looked different. Not sick, just tired. He said, "Doc, I don't feel like myself anymore. My energy crashes halfway through the day. The gym doesn't give me that spark anymore, and my motivation, it's just gone." Sound familiar? If you're a man over 50, you've probably felt something similar. You're not weak, lazy, or broken. Your body's chemistry is simply shifting. And that shift has a name: testosterone decline. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Once you cross your 30s, your testosterone levels start dipping about 1 to 2% a year, quietly, steadily. Fast forward 20 years, and you're operating with 20, maybe even 40% less than your younger self. That's not just a number. That's the reason you might feel slower, less driven, and less you. And it's not just about muscles or mood. Low testosterone affects your focus, your confidence, your heart health, even the quality of your sleep and intimacy. But here's where most people get it wrong. The issue isn't always how much testosterone you make. It's how effectively your body uses it. And that's exactly where today's topic, this humble little vitamin, steps into the spotlight. Now let's shine a little light, literally, on one of the most underrated hormones your body produces, vitamin D3. Yes, I said hormone, not vitamin. Because technically, vitamin D acts more like a hormone factory switch than a simple nutrient. See, your body uses it to build other critical hormones, and testosterone happens to be one of them. That's why I like to call D3 the spark plug of male vitality. Without it, your entire hormonal engine sputters, and yet, so many men, especially those of us spending more time indoors or living in colder climates, are running chronically low on it. You might feel fine on the surface, but inside, your hormone balance could be quietly slipping. Here's where the science gets exciting. Several studies have found that when men optimize their vitamin D levels, their testosterone often rises right along with it. In one long-term clinical trial, men who took around 3,000 international units daily saw their testosterone levels climb by nearly a quarter over the course of a year. That's not marketing hype. That's measurable, biological impact. But here's the problem. Popping a capsule and expecting miracles doesn't always work. When you swallow vitamin D in pill form, it has to travel through your digestive tract, face stomach acid, get filtered by the liver, and only then make it into your bloodstream. That entire trip takes hours, and you lose a big chunk of it along the way. In contrast, when you take vitamin D sublingually, meaning you let it dissolve right under your tongue, something remarkable happens. The membranes there are thin and packed with tiny blood vessels. So instead of fighting its way through your gut, that vitamin slides straight into your bloodstream, fast and efficiently. We're talking about absorption rates that can reach up to 90%, compared to 50% or less with regular capsules. That means faster results, higher bioavailability, and fewer wasted nutrients. Some men even report feeling an energy lift or mood boost within half an hour. That's how quickly it gets to work. Now, about dosage. This is where many guys go wrong. The official daily value, around 600 IU, was never meant for optimal testosterone support. It was designed decades ago just to prevent bone disorders like rickets. For hormonal balance, most men over 50 need somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 IU daily, depending on sun exposure, weight, and current blood levels. And here's the kicker. If you're deficient, your body can't make full use of any other hormone-boosting supplement you take. In fact, roughly 40% of adults in the US are low in vitamin D without even realizing it. So before you chase complicated testosterone boosters, start by giving your body the foundation it needs, the same light it's designed to thrive on. Let's talk about a mineral that doesn't get nearly enough respect: zinc. You've probably heard it mentioned when people talk about immune support or wound healing, but few realize how tightly zinc is linked to testosterone and male performance. Think of zinc as the quiet engineer working behind the scenes in your hormonal workshop. Without it, the conversion process that turns cholesterol into testosterone slows down. And when that process slows, everything connected to your strength, drive, and recovery does too. Here's the truth most men don't hear until much later in life. Zinc deficiency is one of the most common nutritional gaps in men over 50. Why? Because we lose zinc through sweat. Age reduces absorption, and modern diets rarely replace it. And if you're someone who exercises often or enjoys a few drinks each week, you're even more at risk. Both alcohol and stress deplete zinc faster than you can replenish it. In one clinical study, men who were deficient in zinc but started taking about 30 milligrams per day for 6 months nearly doubled their testosterone levels. That's not magic. That's physiology. Once the raw material is back in the system, the body knows exactly what to do with it. Now, let's clear up something important. Traditional zinc pills can be tough on the stomach. A lot of men experience nausea or a metallic taste, and that's often enough to make them stop taking it altogether. That's where the sublingual approach becomes a total game changer. When you let zinc dissolve under your tongue, it skips the stomach entirely. No queasiness, no digestion barriers, just quick entry straight into your bloodstream. This way, the absorption is smoother, and the mineral actually reaches the tissues where it's needed most. The best forms for this are zinc citrate or zinc gluconate. They dissolve easily, are gentle on the system, and have excellent bioavailability. With consistent sublingual use, men often start noticing subtle changes first: sharper focus, stronger workouts, a calmer mood, followed later by that unmistakable feeling of strength returning. Remember, gentlemen, testosterone doesn't operate in isolation. Your body runs on synergy. Zinc doesn't just lift your hormone levels. It also supports the prostate, boosts immunity, and enhances sperm health. So when you give your body enough of this overlooked mineral, you're not just supporting testosterone, you're fueling vitality from the inside out. Now, if there's one mineral that deserves the title of the quiet multitasker, it's magnesium. Boron steps in like a key, helping loosen that grip. With a small daily amount, we're talking just a few milligrams, it allows more testosterone to circulate freely, where it can boost energy, mood, and strength. In one fascinating study, men who took around 6 milligrams of boron daily saw their free testosterone jump by nearly 30% in just 1 week. That's not a typo. 1 week. They also showed lower levels of inflammation and better control over estrogen metabolism, which is crucial for men over 50. Why? Because as we age, our estrogen levels tend to creep up relative to testosterone, creating what's called estrogen dominance. It's one of the biggest reasons men start feeling sluggish, moody, or soft around the midsection. By supporting healthy estrogen metabolism, boron helps restore that crucial balance, the ratio that defines vitality. Now, let's talk delivery. The sublingual form of boron makes perfect sense. Since the required dose is small, Letting it dissolve under your tongue ensures fast absorption and zero strain on your digestive system. You get all the benefits without waiting hours or risking that it gets filtered out before doing its job. And because boron works synergistically with magnesium and vitamin D3, combining them is like tuning your hormonal orchestra. Everything starts working in harmony. When I introduce boron to my patients' routines, it's often the missing puzzle piece. It's subtle but powerful, a little mineral that helps your body use what it's already making more efficiently. And that's the real magic. Not forcing your system, but empowering it to function the way it was designed to. Now let's talk about a vitamin that rarely gets the spotlight, but absolutely deserves it. Vitamin K2. Most men know about vitamins D, C, or B12. But K2? It's the quiet guardian working behind the scenes to keep your body's systems in harmony, including your hormones. But natural doesn't mean inevitable decline. You can choose to support your body the way nature intended. Gently, intelligently, consistently. The sublingual method gives you the advantage of fast absorption and higher efficiency. The nutrients we've covered, D3, K2, zinc, magnesium, boron, fenugreek, the B vitamins, selenium, ashwagandha, and DIM, form a science-backed foundation for energy, mood, strength, and focus. They don't replace your body's processes, they assist them. They remind your system what optimal feels like. Here's what you can realistically expect. Within a few weeks, more stable energy and better mood. In a month or two, easier workouts and faster recovery. By the 3-month mark, noticeable improvements in libido, drive, and sleep. And as months go by, a new baseline. Stronger, calmer, more confident. It's not instant, it's earned. And every man who commits to it discovers something powerful. That feeling of being fully alive doesn't have to fade with age. So, if you're watching this right now and thinking, maybe it's too late for me, let me tell you this, it's not. Your body still remembers how to thrive. It just needs the right support, given in the right way, every single day. I'm Dr. Sienna Brooks, and this has been Men Over 50 Secrets. Take care of yourself, stay consistent, and remember, vitality isn't lost with time, it's built through intention. I'll see you in the next one.